Alright, so today is a bit of a bittersweet day, and I say bitter because I'm stripping the wall down of all these holds, and we'll also be taking the whole wall down and apart. But the sweet part in that is that we're moving, and I hopefully have a space that'll be a bit better and more dedicated for setting this wall up and climbing on it. So hopefully I make more videos, as well as hopefully it's a little bit more motivational to actually edit and make videos, because I'll have a dedicated space for that, hopefully. So without further ado, I'll get to stripping this wall, taking it apart, and showing you guys where it's going. Alright, so before I go and actually start to clean this all up, I thought it would be worthwhile showing everyone how many holds actually came off of this wall. There were quite a few. I think people underestimate how many holds you actually need to fill a wall, and if you saw the wall before, it wasn't even actually full. So it's quite an investment of holds to actually have a climbing wall, even just this one standalone wall. So something to keep in mind if you're thinking about building a climbing wall. As I started to pack away the last of my holds, and then the rest of the house, I started to feel a little bit nostalgic about it all. I'd set out to make this video about moving into a new space, but I felt like maybe there was a different story still here at this place. So I decided to switch gears for a moment and set up my camera one last time inside. So yeah, we're moving, but I think I was getting a little ahead of myself. It doesn't really make sense to talk about some new space when I haven't really talked about this space. And I've done a pretty terrible job helping you guys get to know me. I don't post a lot of videos, and I don't post a lot of this kind of talky stuff, so I figured it was worthwhile to give it a try, to kind of just talk about where I make videos, or more like how I make videos. I don't really know where I'm going to go with this, but it just feels kind of sad leaving this space behind without talking about it. And as I sit here and kind of see this semi-moved, saddened state that it's in, it makes me kind of happy to show you some footage of what it looked like before I started dismantling everything around me. And we can start by talking about the room. And where am I? Well, I'm in a 10 by 11 foot spare bedroom in our apartment. That's not to say it's insignificant or super small. Some people don't even have a spare bedroom to kind of utilize, but it's also nothing crazy. It is a multi-use space that is my office, my storage room, my editing suite. I guess you can call it a studio. And yeah, it's kind of just been my home base for more than 5 years. So I want to do it a little bit of an honor and kind of take you guys through my setup. And as I look around this room, I'm trying to figure out kind of what I should talk about first, and I'm kind of looking between two different cameras right now, so I figure I should talk about that first. So right now I'm talking directly to kind of my new main camera, which is a Sony mirrorless camera, but that's very new, and it is the only piece of camera equipment I think I have that is new and purchased brand new. My other camera over here, which is my B camera right now, I've had for a very, very long time. It was actually a gift from my mom when I was in college, and I'm gonna look at it while I talk to it because I feel like I need to give it some attention, because it's my OG camera. This Canon T2i I've had for over a decade, since I've been in college, and it's done me well. Now, by no means is this an amazing camera. Like I said, it's old, over a decade old, but it has interchangeable lenses. It can shoot 1080p, 24 frames a second, and I guess that's about it. But as long as I have a tripod or a way of stabilizing it, the footage actually looks pretty decent out of it. And that was exclusively what I used to use. So I actually had it mounted to this kind of camera arm, which is a small rig arm that allows me to kind of shoot with the stock lens, which doesn't have a very wide focal length, so it's hard to shoot in a small space, but allows me to have that space without a tripod and still have a desk in here and kind of shoot me sitting here on this couch. And it also allows me to kind of articulate it downwards to do some desktop video, including some of the shots you're going to see in this video. And yeah, all the lenses I have, other than the kit ones that came with the camera, are secondhand and refurbished and also probably on sale. So nothing particularly amazing. I just shot with that camera, and then if I had any roaming shots or things that I just needed to quickly get, I would just use a GoPro on a gimbal. And that was everything I used for the majority of my videos until very recently. You might have noticed a bit of a quality switch. But yeah, it was more than enough to get by. And what else should I talk about? I guess I've talked about the cameras and those lenses, and I guess I should talk about how I'm lighting this space. So I have some LED panels on my one side and LED panels on the other side, which are just cheap Amazon LED panels, and they're on secondhand, used, and donated tripods that I've collected over the years. And they were exclusively the lighting that I used for a very long time until recently when I got this Godox VL150 video light with a softbox, and it just kind of helped soften shadows in here and it looks a little nicer, but definitely not necessary. Even that I actually got at an open box / refurbished price because it wasn't brand new. And I guess there's a bit of a theme there. I haven't spent a lot of money on items, and I've also spent a very long time collecting them over the years, including what I use for my audio. I have an entry-level shotgun mic. It is the Rode video mic that I'm sure you've seen on a lot of cameras, including my own, and I often will mount it to a mic stand over here that I had donated to me because the person who owned it didn't have space for it, didn't need it, and actually was going to get rid of it. And yes, we like our eggs, so I've used the cartons against the wall as a bit of a sound deflector to try to reduce some of the reverberation you get with flat walls. And this room is nothing but flat walls, inclusive of a flat ceiling where I have mounted a towel to the ceiling using pins. And I guess in that shot you'll also see that I have a C-stand with an arm booming out of it. I will mount my microphone to that for videos like this. So I actually have a microphone right here just out of frame. So hopefully the audio quality is okay, and hopefully you've noticed some improvements in me capturing audio. I've been trying to get better at that. What else do I have in here that's worth talking about? I guess I should talk about editing really quick. I have a desktop computer I built, again, a decade ago when I was getting into hobbies like 3D, and I needed something powerful enough to do that. So I built what at the time was an incredible computer. It had 2 GPUs, it had a super powerful multi-threaded CPU in it, had 64 gigs of RAM. It had like the first generation of usable SSD drives where you could actually store things on it because they were big enough. And I built that computer over a period of probably more than a year, and I got everything on discounts and on sales and on clearances, and some of them secondhand, some of them refurbished, so I could build this thing as cheaply as possible. And that computer with all of its components built at that time probably would have cost about maybe the same amount as a used car, but I managed to do it for well under half that amount. That's what I use kind of mainly for my editing and videos until more recently when I got a new laptop because, video cards and video memory has changed, as well as I wanted something that was a bit more mobile to be in different places and different spaces and still be able to work. But yeah, that's kind of everything in here. Other than my new camera and the computers, The only thing in here that wasn't bought secondhand was my desk setup, which is also one of the most expensive things. Is actually 2 pieces of furniture from IKEA, one being a desk and the other being a closet organizer that actually just works really nicely for this setup. So I guess I've kind of rambled myself into a bit of a corner. I wasn't entirely sure where I was going with this video, and I really don't know where I'm going with this video. But I guess that's kind of how vlogging goes. You just kind of start down a path and see where it leads you, and it's led us here. So if I had to summarize what I've kind of been talking about and maybe why I made this video, it's just that this room kind of has been years in the making. Everything I've acquired has been through various hobbies and a bunch of passion projects that have led me to starting to make these videos. And it was a little sad to start taking it all down and apart without ever introducing it to you guys. I don't post very frequently, and I don't do a very good job helping you guys get to know me. So I guess this was kind of that. This is a little bit of the see you later to this space, and also a little bit of, you know, seeing behind the curtain and maybe inspiring some people to start to do these kind of things, because, you know, nothing I have and my space in itself isn't extremely extravagant or something that is unattainable. I think if you have patience, you can slowly start to get little bits of equipment and things that help you pursue your passions. Heck, borrow stuff from friends, rent things if you have to try them out. Go to a freelancer or a business and ask them if there's old equipment they're trying to get rid of. You can kind of slowly build up the inventory to get by. And once you can get by, you can start making the things you want to do. And once you start doing that, you can kind of build on that and build on that. This was, you know, probably the better part of a decade in the making to get myself here. And if it wasn't obvious, I'm not a professional video editor. I am not a professional 3D artist. I'm not an audio engineer. This is all just self-learned things over the years, and I have a lot more still to learn and still to do. So I would just say go out there and start doing it. And, you know, I'm excited to kind of close this chapter in my life. It's heavy and it feels very weird to say goodbye, but I'm excited to take, you know, all these years of experiences and objects and tools and take them into a new space to make it my own, and hopefully be more dedicated, you know, making videos like this and talking to you guys. And yeah, I guess that's kind of it. So if you liked this style of video, feel free to leave me a comment and let me know. And if you want to just give me some love, throw me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you want to see where we're going and what that space is going to look like, because I'm sure I'm going to make that video whenever I actually get around to it. So for now, I guess it's goodbye to you guys and goodbye to this space forever. Sounds very weird, but I guess that's it. All right, take it easy. Peace out.